now. Oh, and we've got a audio notification of that, which is great. And morning, everybody who's popped their morning in the chat box, which is really nice to see. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Sally Swan from Much Loved, and I'm here today with my colleague Richard. And this morning's session is all about advanced training. So as you've seen, there's been a few people that have put their comments in the chat box. So we do ask, if you've got any questions, then please do ask them. But if you could pop them in the chat box rather than the Q&A, that would be really helpful, just so that everybody can see any questions that you're asking. And then Richard and I will be available, obviously, throughout the session to answer any questions that you might have. So we are recording today's session, as you heard, and I will share that with everybody who is present today and everybody who has registered for today's session. So if you want to share it with your colleagues, then that's absolutely fine. Please do so. You know, the more people that get to watch it, the better. So in this morning's session, we're focusing on advanced training and giving you the tools to provide a very sort of polished product. Well, Richard's going to do that for us. So we're going to guide you through things like how to add photos onto a tribute, create a slideshow on a homepage, changing the design theme, customizing display, adding candles, GIFs, and running through the additional settings. But if there's anything else specific that you'd like us to run through, then please do just ask and we will happily show you. Before I do that, I just wanted to take an opportunity to reflect on how the tributes have been used over the last year or so. I'm also going to run a poll, which could be quite exciting because I've never really done it before. So anyway, bear with me if it doesn't quite work. But just sort of talking about digital acceptance, just sort of the use of tribute pages has become much more commonplace in the last year or so. And because of that, what we're seeing is a much more increased usage of the service, so much more sort of usage of the functionality of the pages. So, you know, more videos are being uploaded, more photos are being included, more thoughts left, candles lit, and GIFs uploaded on the tribute pages. In fact, I think we went from something like 900,000 images being uploaded a month to over 45,000 images being kind of loaded on an average month now. And we've seen videos increase on a similar trajectory from about 100, and now we're seeing over 400. And particularly what we've seen is lots of videos of people, I've seen several of them, of people kind of lining the streets as the funeral procession goes to the funeral location. Obviously people haven't been able to actually attend, but they've shown their respects by coming out in sort of solidarity, and that's been recorded and then uploaded onto tributes. We've seen an increase in webcast funerals, and obviously the tribute pages allow you and the families to put information about the webcast funerals directly on the tribute page. We've also seen a massive increase in donations being collected through the tribute pages, and this is where my sort of question kind of comes in. And I can try and get my poll thing to work because I've got a couple of questions to ask you. So I'm going to launch the poll and hopefully the questions will appear on the screen. So I'll just run you through them. So do you think cash and cheques will make an appearance at the funeral service? Can everybody see these questions coming up? Can you see them, Richard? Yeah, excellent. And Catherine's raised her hand. Another question is, do you think it would be appropriate to pass around a card reader at a funeral service to collect donations? I'm just interested to see what people's opinions are on that. And then the third question is, do you know what an NFC tag is? This is a little bit of a kind of market research opportunity for me. So, because it's something that we're looking into. So it's a near field communication, and it's a wireless connection that can be used to transfer information to and from your mobile phone. So the idea is that you can hold your mobile phone close to this tag or reader, and you can pay for things. So you can actually pay for things like shopping, but also you could make a donation through a funeral notice through one of these tags. So just interested to see what people's opinions are on this. Interesting to see that people feel that cash and cheques will make a reappearance at funeral services. Actually, that's got 81% of people have said yes to that. Not much confidence at the card reader idea. And a few more people know what an NFC tag is than I thought. It's quite sort of new to me, to be honest. So that was a bit of fun for the morning. And then just finally, I just wanted to kind of reiterate what we're seeing as a greater importance of your website. So obviously having to have include funeral costs on them, and including information on topics to increase SEO, but also including funeral notices as they're one of the most kind of commonly searched for items on a funeral director's website, according to funeral director websites. So I'm just going to end this poll, and thank you very much for contributing to that. And then I'm going to hand you over to, I'll just share the results so that you can see it, just in case you're interested. And then I'm going to hand you over to Richard, who's going to talk us through today's training.
Thank you, Sally. Good morning, everyone. From a reasonably sunny, but certainly not raining, Surrey this morning. Right, I'm going to share my screen and take you to the our sort of test partner area. And that should be displaying now. This should all look very familiar to yourselves, and this is where we'll do all the work today. We're actually going to concentrate on this person's tribute here, Nikki Kingsley. Just going to have a quick look at it first of all. Sort of fairly standard tribute, and it's worth remembering, actually, it's worth saying that a lot of, in fact, the vast majority of tributes that are being set up are being set up absolutely correctly and absolutely fine, and we're not here to make your lives harder. The pages, carry on continuing them, creating them as you would do. Try and keep life as simple as you can. Today's session is really about sort of if either things go a little bit wrong or you want to start adding a little bit more sort of frills to the page. So this is the tribute I created for Nikki. This is Nikki here. We can see that a funeral notice has been added, and actually the clickable link, the hyperlink there to the webcast has been added. You can see there's been some contributions being added, and we can actually look at that, what those contributions are by visiting the galleries. You can either look at the picture galleries, the videos, the candles, etc. I'm just going to quickly jump to the thoughts. Some people have been leaving some kind thoughts. Our sort of standard ones there. These can be removed if you wanted them to, but these are our standard ones. But we can see that the ladies at the local WI have sent a message, and they've made either a typo or it's something that's not appropriate. So we will today be showing you how to remove kind of unwanted content, along with other things. So we just go back to her homepage. So all the amendments that you might need to make are in the settings area of your partner area. On the way to the settings, we will just very briefly talk about lighting a candle. If you so wish to light a candle on behalf of the funeral director, very simple to do. Click on the candle icon. I know we've talked about this before, but simply add a candle. Select the appropriate time. We've got ones that burn just for a day, little thought candles, all the way up to sort of vigil candles that last 100 years. I always think it's appropriate maybe for a 2-week or a 1-month candle to be lit by a funeral director. So let's select a 2-week one. Select the background colour, and who's it all from? It's all from A. Smith Funerals. Add that candle, and that's now added to Nikki's page, and we can see that there on her page. Why do I like this? It just shows that the family is seeing this as the first bit of interaction on the website, sorry, on their tribute page, and it's, I think, a nice touch that you can add. So go back to the all tribute settings, just so we're all in the same place. Also, you can use your share functions. If you use Facebook and Twitter, you can load those up there. But now we're going to head into the background part of the tribute. So click on the settings area, and you can change obviously anything here. So obviously fairly straightforwardly, we can change the title. If you're a multi-branch outfit and you wish to reallocate this back to the appropriate branch, maybe you're creating them all at the one branch. Very easy to do. You'll find in your partner area all your branches listed, and you keep tabs of what's going on. Just simply change the branch to whichever one is appropriate. Ability to change the tribute guardian. I'm obviously the tribute guardian on this page at the moment. Editing the funeral notice. Nothing much more to show you here, but if you do need to make any changes or amendments, you can do that here. The one key thing to remember is if you are going to add a hyperlink, either copy and paste it from Obitus or Wesley Media, etc., or YouTube. Just make sure you press return afterwards, and this will generate that blue underlined hyperlink in that area. Some funeral information. Let's just get back to funeral notices. I have talked about it before. If you've all got your mobile phones handy, I'll just sort of demonstrate how easy it is to generate a QR code. Now, these are being added to the back of the order of service. They're being forwarded to the family, just so it gives you direct access either to your website or directly to the tribute page itself. Simply click get the QR code, and if you've got your phones handy, you can hold those up to that code. The one little caveat, I think I mentioned it before, is if you have your logo in it, it might not read perfectly from this option here, but it should all work here. Okay, so quickly show you how to do that. It's just a nice way of accessing the page. Similarly with SMS sharing, we've talked about this before, but if you wish to share the page to the next of kin via SMS and then onward sharing in a WhatsApp group, for example, just simply enter the mobile phone number in there. Right, so as we scroll down the page, we're going to be getting to some of the more nitty-gritty little bits. Now, if you ever had the need to, you can change the website address. So if you click on Nikki's page here, you can see that her current page is www.nikkikingsley14@muchloved.com. Now, we always choose the cleanest, the neatest next URL that's available. If for whatever reason you wanted to change it, you can simply click on the change URL. Maybe her middle name was Anne and you'd like to just change it to Nikki Ann Kingsley and remove the numerics. Save those changes, and that has now altered. I just have to close that page down because that no longer exists. And then if I look at the tribute again, you can see that website address has changed. If you do that, do make sure you notify the next of kin, because obviously they'll still be pointing at the old page. Right, so what else have we got down here? We've got the addition of any more pictures. So if you've been sent an order of service picture, you might have uploaded it during the creation process. If not, then you can enter it here in the pictures. We've got a couple of pictures here. We've got Nikki herself and her little bestie there. And I'm just going to upload another picture, show you how simple it is. Going to hunt around my files. And upload that third picture there. You can reorder these pictures. So if I wanted it to appear sort of further up the list, I can move her up the list. It should leave poor Nikki at the top, but then all the way to the top. But yes, you can reorder those pictures. You can also change the theme if you needed to do that. You can do that from. I'm just going to go back to where we were. You can change the theme. So in this case, I've chosen sort of a potted plant theme. But if I want to change the theme, maybe the family have come back in and said, actually, we would like to maybe choose a musical theme. Maybe she had a musical interest, classical violinist. You can simply change that thing there. If I go back to her page, you can see that that has been altered. One thing I will show you how to do as well, these areas to either side of the page are what we call wings, and you do have the ability to change and alter those. And I'll come to that in just a minute. Back to her settings area. Managing candles and gifts. We saw about how to add a candle. Similarly, you can add a gift as well if that's appropriate. Simply click on the gifts, and there's a variety of different gifts that you can select. These are all obviously available for friends and family to choose, ranging from flowers to little cutesy teddy bears and that kind of thing. If you want to send something a little bit more spiritual, you can do that. Okay. Back down into the bows. You can also make the tribute private. It defaults to being a public tribute, and that's shown in your partner area with the open. Let's go back to the all tributes. That's shown by the open padlock here. If you want to close the page down, it restricts the access to it to just those invited to see it. It's simply click on there and make this tribute private. There's also a default. We've defaulted it off these days. If you want to allow visitors to the page to contact the next of kin, and you've added a tribute guardian, you do have the ability to do that. Now, it is turned off because although we do employ anti-spam, there have been occasions where sort of manual spammers have got through and contacted the next of kin. So if the family do want to be able to be contacted, they have the ability to be added, but it is defaulted to be off. Whilst we're here, we'll go back to the settings area. We also have the ability, or you have the ability, to manage visitor contributions to the page. If I click on the visitor contributions, it's defaulted to add to the tribute without review. So any pictures, any words, any donations are added to the page, and there's no review. It's a bit like having an open door to the castle. If you wanted to, though, you can add some extra controls for the family, and they can also add this as well. If you click on add information to the tribute and notify the guardian, they will get sent an email notification that something has happened, and they can have a look on their phone and assess that. Or if they really want to sort of keep the gates of the castle closed, they can review everything before it's displayed. But by default, it is an open door policy. Okay, right, so now we're going to jump into the advanced settings, and please fire away. I can see questions coming in. Hopefully, see what we're getting in. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer any questions as they come up. But in the advanced settings, you can. I mentioned about that particular that particular thought that needed amending or deleting. That could be found in the content. So in the content, you have the ability to view anything that's been added. There's the pictures that have been added. It looks like I added one of them twice. Go back to content. But what we're actually after was that thought that was put on inappropriately. So click in the thoughts, and here we are. There's that one that's not quite appropriate. I can either remove it and it's then gone, or if I've spoken to the ladies at WI and they say, oh, actually, no, we want to send down best wishes, you can simply click on the thought and then edit it and change it to the appropriate message, and that will be reflected instantly in the page. I'm just going to click on the page, and it was a thought. Is it this one? No, it's in a previous one. There we are. So that has been corrected. So easily remove it if required. So in these advanced settings, we also have this ability to change the design. We can do it. We saw it from the partner setting area. But if you click on design, it gives you even greater control to change the theme. So if you want to change the theme again, you can do so here. Maybe we want to change it to maybe she was proud of her record collection. I can also soften the version. You can see some of the imagery softens, and I can also change the fonts if I so wish. If you want to really get involved, you can change these wings to anything you like. So we can choose some leaves, and we could change the color. We can change it to red, pink, black, blue, whatever. And simply save those changes. I will reiterate, this is, this isn't part of the day job really. It's only if you've got a bent to want to do it. All the pages set up, are generally excellent. This is only if you want to get into different things. Everything else down here, you could ignore a lot of this is the controls for the users themselves, the Tribute Guardian. Where they can invite different guardians, maybe additional members of the family, not really your, within your remit really. We talked about the contribution settings. One thing you can control here in the contribution settings is at the moment, everything's being allowed onto the page. If the family have got in contact with you and said, well, actually, we don't want any candles, we don't want any pictures, etc., you do have the ability to turn those off. If you click in edit, you can remove the ability to post pictures, gifts, etc. Okay. I think that was probably about most of what I was going to cover, Sally. I guess the questions have come in.
Yeah, that's great. There's just a couple of questions which I have answered back directly, but I think it's worth kind of reading them out so that everyone can see. So just talking about sort of deleting the URL address for any reason, Terry pointed out that when they deleted tributes, they couldn't reuse the same URL address, and that's because we sort of soft delete a tribute page just in case it needs to be reactivated, because if the reason for it being deleted is that the family it's run its course and the family don't want it anymore, they may well in a year's time say, oh, actually, I'd quite like to visit that tribute page again. So it's a soft delete. So even if you've made a mistake on the URL address and you delete the tribute, you can't then create another one with exactly the same URL. They all have to be completely unique. And Karen asked a question about whether there's a cost for the gifts. So no, they're completely free. There's no charge for you to leave them, or any friends or family members who are leaving them and interacting with the tribute in that way. And in fact, we do upload a selection of seasonal gifts. So there will be gifts left at Christmas, for example. We'll also leave appropriate gifts at what are you doing?
I was just going to go back to show you some of the gifts.
Oh, okay, fine.
I had to re-add gifts in. Sorry.
On a funny journey. There will be a number of Father's Day gifts uploaded from the 4th of June, and there were Mother's Day gifts, and there'll be Remembrance Day, and there's sort of various features throughout the year where we upload specific gifts. Yeah, so just if any questions, then please do pop them in the chat box. The last thing that we wanted to show you, just to reiterate really, was that we do have a funeral director partner, funeral director support site, which can show you how to access it. So you go to your partner area and click on the Manage tab.
And down at the bottom here, we've got the training and support website. If I click on there, it gives you access to our support site, and there's lots of resource in here. And one thing that you might find, it answers to any questions you've got. We've got our frequently asked questions down here. For clicking there, one of the most common ones that has been asked recently was adding an order of service, and we've got a solution for that, and you can follow the instruction there. But any other questions that you have, obviously have a quick look here. If not, you by all means get in contact with us. We're here to help.
Excellent, great. Well, thank you very much, Richard, and thank you very much, everyone, for attending this morning's session. I don't think there are any questions, but obviously if you've got any feedback on what you might like Richard and I to cover, we have got some plans in place for the sort of the rest of the year. So we are intending on offering these on a regular basis, but please do let us know if there's anything specific that you would like us to cover, and we'll very happily do that for you. So have a good day, everybody.
Thank you all for your time. Appreciate it.